Pokemon XY, 4.5 out of 5. A true classic. Diamond and Pearl, 4 stars. Sounds about right. The original anime, 4 stars. Better bump that one up to 5 Machokes out of 1. Pokemon Journeys, 3 stars. Wait, what? 38% of reviews are 5-star reviews, and 46% of reviews are 1-star reviews? How is this even possible? Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? In the last video, we broke down why a portion of Japanese fans absolutely love Pokemon Journeys based on 5-star reviews from Japan's Amazon Prime viewers. The show's supporters had a lot of great points, and you should definitely check that video out after. Because in this video, we are flipping things upside down to take a deep dive into the 7 C's of Weeb Rage, or Jeeb Rage, I guess, to bring a treasure chest of Japan's 1-star Pokemon Journeys reviews back up to the surface for examination. Because while nobody likes a negative Nuzleaf and review bombing is par for the course in the 2020s, the criticisms of these naysayers carry a lot of valid, interesting nuggets of insight that capture the feelings of many longtime viewers rather well. And as always, it's going to be a fun time, so kindly request your Chimchoke to choke that like button out for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right in. In order to frame the ongoing criticisms against the first wave of negativity that ripped out the gates back in 2019, let's open with a relatively old review that came out on December 25th, 2019, just a couple months after the show's release. So, Merry Christmas, let's see what flavor of Santa stuffed down this person's stocking. The show lifts up Go and lowers Ash. If you happen to hear a distant explosion at 6:55 p.m. JST every Friday night, don't worry. It's just this person crapping their pants because, no doubt to their horror, the Go show only ramped up after this review was published. Ash is portrayed as a stupid and ignorant kid even though he's traveled to various regions and met friends in Pokemon to an extent that Go can't even compare to. And yet, in spite of that, they turned him into a character without any presence, and he doesn't advise Go at all. I do feel this poster's frustrations over Ash's experiences being swept under the rug, even though more connections with his past adventures have started to emerge in recent episodes and will continue to do so in the near future. One way to softly shore up the awkwardness of this experience mismatch while maintaining the equality between the two characters would be if Ash actually reached out to old friends and important people in many of the locations that he and Go visit. For example, if Ash said, "Hey, I know this weird hippie who once nearly pushed my Pikachu to its death in a pit of lava, and I'm sure that he would be happy to help us with our research on Volcanian mating patterns if we just went on over to Cinnabar Island." And if they then took a ferry over there to meet up with Blaine for an excursion. It would bring Ash's valuable experience to the table without turning his equal footing with Go into more of a mentor-apprentice style relationship, which the writers don't seem to want to do. And bonus, many more classic characters could be brought into the show. Rewatch the entire show, starting with episode 1, before you make something like this. The episodes are too weak, and there isn't enough of a story. I think the episodes are generally pretty decent on their own when you consider what they are intended to be, but it is true that the story is thinner than a female One Piece character, and while Pokemon has always been more about the world than the narrative, as someone who wants to watch the anime with my kids, when I have kids, I don't currently have any kids that I know of, I do hope we get those grippier story elements back, because they really do get me more excited to tune in week after week compared to something that is fairly disjointed. If they focused on one topic, it wouldn't have turned out like this. As such, I want Go to take a hike. We talked about the side effects of the attention split in detail when we examined how Pokemon Journeys broke the classic anime formula, so check that one out later if you so desire. The original Pokemon anime properly followed the flow, development, and outcomes of the story, and it was apparent that within their limited time they wanted to communicate this storyline to viewers. I wonder if the people who were thinking about the story disappeared as the production team modernized. I think it was more so just a conscious decision to abandon the story in favor of more ice cream and capsule toys, but I hear you, my friend, it kind of saddens me as well. Go excessively catching Pokemon makes me uncomfortable, so I don't bother watching the bits that are focused only on him. There are people who say, yeah, but you guys catch Pokemon willy-nilly in the games, but this was never a thing in the anime until now. And probably for good reason. So Go obviously annoys quite a few people, but let me just say that the Go-centered episode 32, the first episode ever in which Ash and Pikachu didn't even appear, is probably the only episode in the whole series that really captured the sense of mystery and wonder of the Pokemon world that made me fall in love with it when I was a kid. And to be honest, I would love to see more Go-centered episodes if they are as compelling as that one. As someone who's been a long-time Pokemon anime viewer, there is something really off about Pokemon journeys. Beyond the other reasons that I've discussed, I think this is partially due to how shallow the show feels at time, with the attention split between two protagonists with 3 goals: catching Pokemon, competing in the World Coronation series, and conducting research, and typically with just 1 episode dedicated to each location before bouncing away somewhere else. As a result, many of the locales not only feel disconnected from any sensible world feel, but also a bit flat and superficial compared to the rich and wonderful world of Sun and Moon, and even various other towns from other past series. It pisses me off that Go catches so many Pokemon every episode without any real story or reason behind the catches. As I've mentioned before, Go's goal is to catch all of the Pokemon, but I think that in the midst of this, if Go actually had a targeted list of Pokemon he really needed for some compelling reason or another, and a solid portion of the episodes followed him and Ash trying to track down these Pokemon, rather than killing precious minutes of screen time on every Barney the Bellsprout that came his way, I think that would be a great way to approach the catches, and we may get a taste of that formula in the Project Mew storyline. You want to collect every Pokemon? If you do something like that and the Research Institute disappears, you won't even be able to raise them. Do not underestimate Chad Dad Cerise, because if that was the case, he would simply build 3 more research biodomes, 2 for Go's Pokemon, and 1 to lock up all the haters. They've made the show into a completely separate story, as if the Ash, Pikachu, and other Pokemon from up until now never existed. If they were going to do this, it would have been better if they started a story with a new character. The way they did away with what's been built up over the past 20 years feels ruthless. Welcome to the Pokemon anime. But yes, I do think a fresh start with a fresh character could be pretty interesting. And this is why I always say to people, check out the Pokemon Adventures manga, because it does follow different characters with each series, and it is probably the best official Pokemon story ever told. This far surpasses Black and White as a work people will want to pretend never happened, especially that blatant portrayal of Ash as a prepubescent boy. The talentless director Kodaira is also a problem, but whoever does the Rotom phone voice, they should fire the guy who casted him. Nobody would complain. Pretty rough words flying out of the peanut gallery there, but as things stand, I myself would probably rate Black and White above Pokemon Journeys, simply because the world and narrative felt more consistent and focused. Of course, Journeys has intentionally been turned into an even more lighthearted, funny, comedy of the week style show than ever before, and I can appreciate that and enjoy each episode for what it offers, but to be honest, it is not really to my taste compared to the classic shonen anime-ish formula. The deed of catching all the Pokemon is permissible in the games, but it is tough to depict in an anime. Even Ryo Sayaba, the stallion of Shinjuku, has his standards. The poster here is referring to Ryo Sayaba, the main character of a classic manga known as City Hunter. Ryo being a dude who is nicknamed the stallion or breeding horse of Shinjuku because, well, he is a bit of a skirt chaser. And yet, the poster's joke is that even he had standards compared to Catch 'em All Go, the nostalgic Pokemon anime of the past that was filled with meetings and goodbyes like those of Bye Bye Butterfree is over. Pokemon are now merely tools for filling the Pokedex. Oh Butterfree, you sweet thing. Even though Ash occasionally gives off the impression of a master trainer, it isn't persuasive, and he's basically treated at the same level as the beginner trainer Go, and the result is somewhat of a character mismatch. If he was going to be working together with Go, they should have returned him to a more serious character mold like that in Diamond and Pearl or XY. Likewise, Go doesn't feel like a beginner when he catches Pokemon so easily, and it isn't interesting. There are too many Pokemon who are just captured and not given any attention thereafter. For me, who loved the past Pokemon anime in which each Pokemon was explored in depth, grew in battle, and deepened its bond with its trainer, there's no way I can accept the current series. I do understand this person's irritation with how the Pokemon themselves are treated, because they are a dime a dozen in the show, and even leads like Cinderace tend to get cycled out of the spotlight once Go gets his hands on a new favorite. Maybe that will change, maybe I'm too sentimental, and of course, everyone is chilling off screen back at the Biodome, but I am curious what your thoughts on this are, so please, tell me your thoughts. It feels like the death of my youth. I'm shocked. I do hope this person is okay, as Pokemon Journeys appears to have caused them some fairly significant mental stress. Well, I think that is a pretty good sampling of why exactly a portion of the Japanese fans hate Pokemon Journeys. But how about you? Would you give Pokemon Journeys a 1-star review, a 5-star review? Are you one of the more level-headed folk out there who would give it a 2, a 3, or a 4? And do you think things are going to really take off as the show moves into the Project Mew and Crown Tundra storylines? I'm curious what you have to say. Well, don't forget to check out the flip side of the coin with the Why Japan Loves Pokemon Journeys video. Thank you for watching, and as always, let's chat.
What?